Hey everyone, Jennifer Roberts here, and I am the Podqueen. And I'm going to continue to talk about marriage today. And there's a few things that I have seen in relationships that I find disturbing, and a few things that I've actually done and I've been disturbed by myself. And so I'm going to talk about manipulation today inside the context of marriage. And manipulation is something that as women we have to be vigilant to not give into. Because sometimes a woman feels like she doesn't have a voice. And when you feel like you don't have a voice, but you have something to say, you don't say it directly, and you find another way to communicate what you want to say. I call that manipulation. And as women, we can become very skilled in this craft. We can learn to get our husbands to do what we want without actually telling them what we want, by making them feel badly when they make a decision that we don't necessarily love, but we didn't say that we didn't want them to do it. You know what I mean? And so, I've seen that there's been a time or two I've done this to my children, and I've done it to my husband, and I go, I hate that. I hate to be manipulated. I don't like when someone is it's like I can feel their hand on my back. They're pushing me the direction they want me to go, but they're telling me that I have the choice to go any way I want. I don't. I can feel that I'm being pushed in a certain direction. And so as wives, we don't want to do that to our husbands. We don't want them to make them feel pushed and manipulated into a certain way, a certain decision. And why don't we just say what we want? Why don't we just be open in our communication? And with my children, I've learned to be more direct with them, more open with them, tell them exactly what I want, not do oh wow, the house is so dirty, I'm just so stressed by the house, I don't know what I'm going to do. How about I just say, hey kids, would you clean up the house? I have to run to the grocery store. Instead of all of a sudden they feel guilty, they don't know what to do, That's just weird. We don't have to engage in that level of communication, and especially in marriage. And so I saw my husband react a couple times to manipulation where we lose their heart if we're not open. If they feel controlled, if they feel manipulated, if they feel maneuvered, they don't like it, girls. Don't do that. Don't do that to your husband. Talk to him. Let him know what you think, what you feel. Give him the choice. Don't put him in timeout emotionally if he doesn't do it the way you want him to do it. Marriage is two free-willed people coming together. It's a huge big deal. And so trust your husband enough to communicate directly. Trust your husband enough to be able to have the right words at the right time. I just realized I winked at the person behind the camera telling me how long I'm gone. That's good. So, as if you didn't see that. Did you notice that, Donnie? I went like that to you. Anyway, my crew's here. They're watching me. They love it. So there. So I'm a winker. There it is for both of you. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So manipulation is something we want to eliminate in our communication. Don't do it. Really, don't do it. And I used to expect my husband to be able to read my mind. So here's the deal. They can't. They don't read minds. And I remember one time, Dwayne and I are married 4 years, and I'm feeling like, oh no, our romance isn't as strong as it used to be. And we get in the car, and I put my hand near his. I don't touch his hand. I put it near his hand. And I'm thinking in my twisted mind, if he reaches out and touches my hand, I'll know the romance is still there. That's just silly. Silly, silly, silly. And then all of a sudden he didn't touch my hand. I get cold and withdrawn, and he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, well, you didn't touch my hand. He goes, did you want me to? Just touch his hand. If you want to hold his hand, grab his hand. Tell him you want to grab the hand. Don't do this whole mind game. Guys don't speak that language. They don't read minds. My husband does not know what I want him to do. I have to tell him. I have to lay it out clearly. I have to let my expectations be known. They can handle communication, ladies. We don't have to do this weird backwards communication thing. He's your husband. Speak directly to him. Don't do this thing where he has to try to guess what you're saying. That just freaks guys out. They're like, I can't read this language. I don't speak this language. I don't know when I'm in trouble, when I'm not in trouble. So let's not do that. Let's eliminate that from our communication. Let's learn to be more clear. You can be direct and still be kind, but you can't be kind and be a manipulator because that's controlling another person. That's what the Podqueen thinks.